सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. This particular Dashakam, number 26, is very, very attractive, especially to the youngsters. Because I'm sure every Astika who will be listening and watching this will remember that the first Charitram, Divya Charitram that we must have heard from our parents or grandparents must have been of Gajendra moksha, the fight between the elephant and the crocodile. And Bhaṭṭatiri takes a lot of pride in saying this particular avataram because as per Bhagavata Mahapuranam, this incident is said to have occurred by the banks of river Tamraparani. Tamraparani is a river that originates in the Western Ghats and flows in the state of Tamil Nadu, very close to the very famed town called Tirunelveli. So near that is a small village called Attalanallur. So near Attalanallur is where this incident is said to have occurred. Very close to that is the border of Kerala. So since Bhaṭṭatiri hails from Kerala and sits in Guruvayur, he gives that extra attention to Gajendra moksha. Here comes that beautiful Dashakam. Indradyumna Pandyakhandadhiraja Tvadbhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachit Tvatsevayam Magnadhiraluloke Naivaagastyam Praptamatithyakamam. He says Kadachit Indradyumna. Long ago, once upon a time, there was a king called Indradyumna. Pandya Khanda Adhirajaha. He was the very ruler of Pandya Khanda, of a region of the Pandyas. Pandya Khanda Adhirajaha. Tvadbhaktatma Magnadhihi. He was a great devotee of yours and was deeply absorbed. Tvatsevayam Chandanadrau. He was worshipping you in the Malaya Parvatam. Na eva aluloke. And there he did not even notice. See, this particular king was thinking of you, Bhagavan. He was doing bhakti yogam towards you, upasana, sadhana towards you. So, Tvadbhaktadma Magnadhihi, Tvatsevayam Chandanadrau. He was doing it on the mountain of Malaya. Na eva aluloke. Thereby, since he was completely engrossed in you, this particular king, Indradyumna, who was completely engrossed in worshipping you, Krishna, Bhagavan, na eva aluloke. He did not notice Agastyam Praptam. That Agastya Maharshi has come. Agastya Maharshi had come. He did not notice. So, since he was completely involved in Bhagavad Dhyanam, he did not notice. Atithyakam. Since he did not notice, he did not do Atithi Satkaram, hospitality, being very hospitable to the guests. Despite Atithyakamam Agastyam Praptam. Despite Agastya thinking he was desiring that he will be the person who's going to welcome him will welcome him with that fanfare, and there will be a lot of Atiti Satkaram. Agastya came with the notion that he will be accorded due respects and will be given that hospitality. On the other hand, since Indradyumna, the Pandya king, was completely engrossed in Bhagavad Bhakti, he did not notice Agastya's arrival, and thereby that hospitality did not happen. Kumbodbhutihi sambhrita krodha bharaha stabdhatma tvam hasti bhuyam bhajeti shaptvathainam pratyagat sopi lebhe hastindratvam tvatsmriti vyakti dhanyam atha kumbodbhutihi. Then a sage who was born to the kumbham, which means a pot. So he is called Kumbha Muni. So Agastya is said to be born of a pot. So that is why Muthuswami Dikshitar, a great composer in the language of Sanskritam, says, Pura Kumbha Sambhava Munivara Prapujitam Trikodama Dhyagatam Murari Pramukha Dyupasitam Mooladhara Kshetra Sthitam Pura Kumbha Sambhava Munivara Kumbha Sambhava Muni, the one who is born of a pot. Sambhrita Krodabharaha Atha Kumbodbhutihi, the one who is born of the pot, that particular Agastya, Sambhrita Krodabharaha, he got extremely angry, looking at how he is being ill-treated, mistreated here. So the moment he was not treated well, Rishi's anger knew no bounds. Pratyagat shaptva yenam iti. So he went back. He said, I'm leaving this place. But while leaving, he cursed. Stabdhatma tvam, since you are obstinate, motionless, thereby bhaja hasti bhuyam, you will stand like that elephant. There's another version. One version is he did not care. So you are motionless. You look like an inanimate object. Thereby I curse you that you will become an elephant. On the other hand, there is another version that he did notice the Rishi, but he did not want to stop the Aradhana. So he said, please come, please come. And he was nodding his head, the king. Since he was nodding like an elephant, the Rishi said he will become an elephant. Either he was nodding, he'll become an elephant, or he is motionless, he'll become an elephant. Bhaja hasti bhuyam, saha api lebhe hastindratvam. Thereby, that Indradyumna Pandya Raja got the form of a very big elephant. Hastindratvam, not just a hasti, not an elephant. Hastindra, the chief of elephants. Tvatsmriti vyakti dhanyam. But the only blessing was, despite being cursed to be an elephant and he was born an elephant, he carried the memory of Bhagavan. Tvatsmriti vyakti dhanyam. Dugdhambodher madhyabhaji trikute kridan shaile yuthapoyam vashabhihi sarvan jantuntya vartishta shaktya Tvadbhaktana kutra notkarshalabha Trikute Shaile. On that Trikuta Shailam, it is believed to have had 3 peaks. Madhyabhaji Dugdhambodhe, which was situated in the middle of a water body. Here he says Dugdhambodhi. So it was there in those days in literature to always exaggerate. So when I say Dugdhambodhi, milky ocean, you should not think that it is A2 organic grass-fed milk which was put there. It was a water body, Dugdhambodehe, Kridan Vashabhihi. This Hastindra, Gajendra, was playing with the other elephants, the female elephants. Ayam Yuthapaha Atyavartishtam. This particular leader of these elephants was excelling everything. Sarvan Jantun Shaktya. He was able to easily excel the other elephants and the other animals with his might. That time, Tvadbhaktanam, this is where Bhaṭṭatiri says, see, ultimately he is your Bhakta. Tvadbhaktanam, for devotees of you, Krishna, of Guruvayur, Kutra Utkarshalabhanaha. How is it not possible to excel? Your devotees will always excel. How did Prahlada excel? Because he is your devotee. How did Hastindra, this Gajendra, excel? Because he is your devotee. Says Bhaṭṭatiri. Svenasthemna divya deshatva shaktya soyam khedan अप्रजानान् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूथैः सार्धं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे सः अयं. That elephant. Who's that elephant? Gajendra, the king of elephants. Aprajanan khedam. He was leading a life that is bereft of sorrow. Svenasthemna, owing to his own strength, Divyadeshatva Shaktya, living in that great Divyadesham. Divyadesham means a divine region, because across Tamraparani, Kaveri, Krishna, Tungabhadra, Godavari, you will find temples all around. So Maharishis and Acharyas keep visiting. So it was a Divyadesham. So he says Divyadeshatva Shaktya Kadachit Gharmatantaha. Because it was heavy summer, he was oppressed with the heat, and animals will always want to bathe in the waters. So abhireme yuthaihi sardham. So in order to sport in the cool waters of the lake, this particular elephant came along with the other elephants. Abhireme yuthaihi sardham sarasyam shaila prante. In that lake, by the side of that mountain, so there is a Trikuta Parvatam, there is a lake. Tvat pranunnaha. This is the key word. So here Bhaṭṭatiri says, Tvat pranunnaha. It was you who kind of persuaded from the within. You made that elephant go to that lake and made that elephant do that. So Tvat pranunnaha. Bhaṭṭatiri adds that word. It is because of your prerana that that elephant came to that particular lake. Now what did this elephant do? It was playing with the other elephants. The other elephants got out of the lake. It plucked one lotus flower, held it in its trunk, and was about to exit. Then something very unique happened. Huhustavalad devalasyapi shapat grahi bhutastajjale vartamanaha jagrahainam hastinam padadeshe shantyartham hi shrantidosi swakanam. Tavatu hu api. Hu. Your children will always be surprised. What is his name? Hu. That's his name. Who is this hu? Tavatu hu api. He is a Gandharva. Gandharvas were people who engaged in music and dance and other sports and other arts. Tavatu hu api. That time a Gandharva called hu. Grahi bhutaha shapat. He had become a Gandharva, had turned into a crocodile by or through the shapam, the curse of Devalasya. There was a rishi called Devala. So while Devala was performing intense austerities in the waters, Hu, a Gandharva, wanted to be playful. He went within the waters and pulled the leg of that Devala Maharshi. So Devala slipped. That time he got to know that this Gandharva had done. So he said, since you have done this, like how a crocodile attacks its prey within the waters, you shall be a crocodile. Grahi bhutaha shapat devalasya vartamanaha tajjale jagraha. And who was living, that particular Hu Gandharva, because of Devala Maharishi's shapa, who was living in these lake waters, jagraha, he caught. What did he catch? Enam hastinam padadeshe. He caught one of the legs of the elephant. Shantyartham hi tvam. That now Bhaṭṭatiri says, see, when everything goes peacefully, for the ultimate well-being of that particular devotee, you will give problems to that devotees and you yourself will solve that. But why do you give that problem? So that he keeps thinking of you. Shantyartham hi tvam asi shrantidaha swakanam. So when everything goes peacefully, you ultimately want to give something bigger for your devotee. So you'll give the small sufferings. So this devotee, Indradyumna, who later became a Gajendra, whose leg was pulled, who was suffering because of this crocodile. Why? So he says, Asi shrantidaha swakanam. You are the one who gives that sufferings. But as much as you give those sufferings, you also remove them. Now this elephant is suffering in the jaws of that very ferocious crocodile. But what will happen? We'll have to see. Whether Bhagavan will come, whether this elephant will call for Bhagavan's help. Did Bhagavan come because the elephant called for his help, or he just came just like that? How did he help? What was the vimochanam for the crocodile? What is the vimochanam for the Gajendra? All that in the next episode.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादि दिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते। नारायण 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 नारायण